Hi, and welcome to Crypto Info Depot, where we talk about crypto and beyond. Quick reminder, if you like the content of this video, hit the like and subscribe button. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm. In this educational video, I'll demonstrate how you can approach the market with simple technical analysis techniques and logic based on simple probabilities. Please note, this is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. All right, let's get started. What is support and resistance? Look at the diagram above. As you can see, this zigzag pattern is making its way up, a bull market. When the price moves up and then pulls back, the highest point reached before it pulled back is now resistance. Support is a price level where a downward trend can be expected to pause due to a concentration of demand or buying interest. As the price of crypto drops, demand for it increases, thus forming the support line. Meanwhile, resistance zones arise due to selling interests when prices have increased. Resistance levels indicate where there will be a surplus of sellers. When the price continues up again, the lowest point reached before it started back is now support. Support levels indicate where there will be a surplus of buyers. In this way, resistance and support are continually formed as the price moves up and down over time. The reverse is true during a downtrend. So let's talk about support and resistance zones. One thing to remember is that support and resistance levels are usually not exact numbers. To help you filter out these false breakouts, you should think of support and resistance more as zones rather than concrete numbers. One way to help to find these zones is to plot support and resistance on a line chart rather than on a candlestick chart, even though that's how it's shown here. One way to help you find these zones is to plot the support and resistance at the upper ends of the candle wicks. Once an area or zone of support or resistance has been identified, these price levels can serve as potential entry or exit points, because as a price reaches a point of support or resistance, it will do one of two things. It'll either bounce away from the support or resistance level, or it will violate the price level, meaning go through it and continue in its direction until it hits the next support or resistance level. Support and resistance can also reverse roles. In fact, most of the time it does reverse roles. Another thing to remember is that when price passes through a resistance level, as it does in this image, that resistance could potentially become support, as you can see that it does in this image. The same could also happen with a support level. If a support level is broken, it could potentially become a resistance level. So in this image, the price is going down, and then it wants to come back up and retest what was support, but as it bounces away from the resistance, it then becomes resistance. When identifying levels of support and resistance, the first thing that you want to do is begin with a clean chart with nothing on it. Then you identify support and resistance levels. So for example, here's a nice clean chart, and we would start here. It's best to identify support and resistance zones based on past price action. Let me show you how it's done. Oh, by the way, remember, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button because it truly does support me and the channel. All right, let's see how this is done. So the first thing that I like to do is take the bottom line here, and let's find the lowest level of support. So right here, we've got pretty good support. We've got several points of touch right here, right here. We've got another one here and another one here, almost two there, another one here. So those are some pretty strong points of support should the price action go down. So this would be the bottom level of support. Now, where else might we have some good places to put a line? Well, let's put a line at the top here, because this would be considered our all-time high. So right now we see that the price is actually trading between an all-time high of about 69,000. There we go. So between 29,000 and 69,000. So that's our our major area of resistance and support. Now let's see if we can find some other ones. So we see that right about here is a pretty solid one because we've got a touch point here and a touch point here and several touch points right here and another touch point here. And even right this minute, as I record this video, we can see that this is the point of resistance as the Bitcoin price tries to go above that. It's having a little bit of difficult time. In fact, if this is on the daily chart, if we look at it on the 4-hour time frame, we see that it's having a difficult time getting there. And we look at it on the 1-hour time frame, boy, it's really stuck at this major point of resistance. So that's an important way to do this. Now, where else might we have other lines of points of resistance and support for that matter? Here we go. We've got touch points right here and here. We've got them over here and here. And we've got several here. So this is a major trading zone where we've got support and resistance. So the support, of course, is right here. Actually, the support is below here. Let's find our point of support for right now. Looks like right around here. So we see that we've got touch points here and here and here and over here. There's a big one right there. And it kind of goes through here and here. But this is the area that it's been trading in for the last several weeks. It's actually been going between this line here and this line here. So once it breaks through, that's when we're going to have some other areas to look at. Now let's look at a chart that I have put together that actually has current points of resistance and support. So if we look at the bottom one here, this is that one that I drew a moment ago. It's the major long-term support at the bottom here. We talked about that in this chart here. So that's this line here. And then we've got this area that the bears need to bring Bitcoin below this level for further downside. So basically, this blue line here, if you can't break it, that's the bears pushing the price down. So we have an enormous amount of sellers that exist above this blue line right here. And the buyers seem to be below the blue line. The buyers try to push the price up above that blue line, and the sellers are all sitting there right in this area here, waiting to sell their Bitcoin as buyers come in and try to buy it. So eventually, though, we run out of sellers and we reach this local resistance line. So this is the line that we're trying to break right now. And I'm going to give you one extra one here because we also have, this is a line of resistance. And what we see is the price is having a difficult time pushing up this diagonal line of resistance. For the purposes of this video, I'm not going to go into that. Just note that it is one of the types of resistance and support lines. Support line would be this down here that shows the price action not wanting to go below that diagonal. But for now, we're just talking about the horizontal support and resistance lines. So once Bitcoin pushes through this local resistance, it's going to have to break through the 45,000, and then the next major resistance is likely going to get tested at about 47,200. So we've got 47,200 likely tested. Once that tests, then we've got a fairly good range to go before we hit 53,740. So it's going to have to break and retest this particular yellow line. Once it does that, then we've got almost open territory all the way up to 68,979. So it'll go pretty quickly, likely, I would imagine, because there aren't a bunch of major resistance. I mean, we might be able to find something right about here where it takes a little bit of a stop, but we'll have to wait and see. That's a ways off. In any case, these are my points of resistance and support. Use them as you see fit. Remember, this isn't financial advice, but do your own homework. So the logical approach of using probabilities in this instance is that you have to understand that predicting the market's future price action is impossible. Also, timing the market, while possible, is extremely difficult. Thus, the best approach retail investors can take in understanding the market is one based on probabilities. If X, then Y is all you really need to know. For instance, applying this logic on this chart, we would see that if Bitcoin breaks down below $40,700, then we can expect further downside to lower lows. So $47,000 here, if Bitcoin goes up and then comes back down, it's probably going to keep coming down. Alternatively, if Bitcoin breaks and closes above $45,000, then we could expect it to test the yearly open resistance at 47,200. All right, that's all I got for today. Remember, if you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button, and we will see you in the next video.